Welcome back to Let's Play Okami. This is Kung Fu Jesus, your host. I'm doing this video solo because I want to have a chance to discuss a few things. Before we get into, guest commentary, where I might get distracted. So, yeah, our goal at the moment is to find a way to cut down that fruit from the tree. And if you hold down L2, you bring up an overlay map. Yes. Oh my god, this is the giant tutorial level. It's horrible. And by horrible, I mean very obligatory. It's a bit sad that you can't skip it. But on the other hand, you get introduced to Okami a little bit. The game's not actually that hard, so it's not really necessary. But the game assumes you are a moron, so here we go. Okay. Those mirrors are save points. Save points. My god. And then they come right out and say it because, you know, we can't possibly decipher innuendo. Yeah, still learning the ropes. Anyway, save screen, whatever. So we are Okami, our Amaterasu, White Wolf. And Isun is a talking bug voice thing. And that's where we are so far. I'm going to be attempting a 100% run. We'll get into exactly what that means later, but there's a bunch of collectibles, and there's some optional powers we can pick up, so I will be getting all of those. I will also try to get max level and everything, but that might not be necessary, or I don't know, it might just be more tedious than it's worth. So we get a bunch of camera controls. I have to do my invert x-axis thing. Yeah, you have the power to burst things open with your, you know, really powerful forehead. I guess it must be a divine forehead because it's got red paint on it. Yeah, there's a bit of tutorial you can skip here where they teach you how to wall jump. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that immediately. Also, notice as you run, you get nature behind you. There's also multiple phases of running. The fastest one is this one. You have like a garden springing up in your footsteps. In order to dash, or to start the level 1 dash, you press square. And you'll start dashing automatically. And you can't double jump, but you can wall jump, so you go up to a wall and you latch onto it. Notice that, you know, grass and flowers and stuff come out of my footsteps all the freaking time, anything I touch. It's fantastic. Amaterasu loves bones. Luckily, they only tell you what power-ups do once in the game. All money is in yen. Oh, here we go. Game mechanic time, guys. Welcome to the Prime gameplay mechanic. This is not me controlling it at the moment. This is the tutorial. So yeah, our goal is to get all 13 brush powers. Those are the powers that we get throughout the game. Mobility, damage, just general purpose, I guess. My gosh, there's no river, it's just a little puddle. Whatever shall we do? Certainly we couldn't learn to just sort of paint it back into place, could we? Well, that's exactly what we're doing. And how do we get such magical powers anyway? Well, here we go. At various key points throughout our wonderful little story, we will discover constellations in the sky. They can happen in all sorts of places. And the idea is to complete the constellation. Except Isun is completely useless at using a brush. So we finally get to open up our brush and make a dot. Yeah, so whenever we meet a guy, a brush god, we will go into the sky realm and have a little chat with them. And then they give us their soul. So we hold down R1, and you can tell that Rejuvenation works because it'll do that special thing with the ink. It'll get all big and fluffy. And Isun is almost as dumb as we are. Okay, now notice, we are in a river and swimming around. Oh. This is a technique that I learned long ago. If you get extra speed and jump across water and then dash before you hit the surface, you get extra distance and you don't have to do the slow swimming thing. Pro task maneuver. Okay, so these are astral pouches. Astral pouches are basically useless because you will never die. The game is far too easy for that. So, it's like a fairy in Zelda, and you eat food, and you get like one little thing. It also has to tell you every time you get a new piece of food what it is. And if it fills it a little bit, a lot, or it fills it straight. It's like, and it's a 100 food units to fill up the astral pouch. Must be a deity's stomach or something that they left in the astral realm. Well, they're obviously not using it, so we'll just put it wherever. Hammer space. Look at these beautiful environments. It's fantastic, really. Minor nitpick, but there's two kinds of dialogue in this game. One kind, you can press A and it will scroll really quickly. The other kind is slow. You can't skip it. And you just have to wait and watch the cutscene. It's one of the worst things about this game, honestly, is how long it takes for some of the cutscenes to last, and it's just the honking noise, and it really turns off a lot of people, and you really can't make it go much faster. But if you can get over that, you can really just enjoy the story for what it is. And around here somewhere there is a power-up, so I'm going to go look for it. Oh yes, you can headbutt off of waterfalls because they are apparently solid. And they hide rocks and trees, but not the ground. The stray bead is the useless collectible in this game. You find 100 of them scattered throughout the land, and you get a special prize when you beat the game. That's it. I'm going to aim to collect all of them. I've never done that before because it never seemed worth it, but why not? Yeah, gods, where were you? Jeez. So we have our brush strokes here. We can make thick ones and we can make thinner ones with square and triangle. And clearly what we're supposed to do is rejuvenate his sword. So here we go. Just draw a line. Doesn't even have to be that exact. It's a mouse. If it was just the stars, I would have no idea that that was a mouse. Amaterasu looks thoroughly nonplussed. Power Slash is a bread and butter technique. You use it in fighting, you use it to open chests, split pots, kill enemies. Right, so now we have the tool to destroy or cut down the little pot, or little fruit on Sakia's tree. I prefer the Power Slash for destroying pots because I hate headbutting everything individually. And you can just sort of make a huge line across the screen. It will slash everything it touches. It's very useful. And it will also slice trees, so be careful. Oh my goodness. Welcome to combat. Combat takes place in a combat zone. Yeah, the idea is to hit them a bunch, and then they turn black and white and give them a power slash, but that'll probably kill them, and I don't want to kill them yet. I want to get these things. They're called Demon Fangs, and they are used to buy special items. You acquire them by hitting an enemy so that he does the little death rattle thing, and then doing a brush technique on him. It depends on the enemy. The early ones are obviously all going to be power slash. Okay, and then you are rated at the end of the battle. You take all the money you get from enemies, and then you take your battle rating, and it can be doubled. So if I get 200 yen from enemies, and I did perfect in both time and damage, I get another 200. So make sure you pick up all the money that they drop, so that you get maximum money. Money is very useful for most of the game, so it's not quite like Zelda in that respect. Yeah, and you gotta start, like, if you don't know about Demon Fangs, and you probably don't early on, it's not really a big deal. But if you do know about them, you know that you need to start collecting them pretty quickly, or pretty early on, because they take a while to accumulate. And the really good stuff costs a lot. I took too much time because it decided to tell me what radishes were. Lovely. And cabbage, I suppose. The little arrow above your head happens very rarely throughout the game. So, it's not like a complete handhold, but sometimes, yeah. You can also get Demon Fangs on 2 of the loading screens. And, yeah. One of them is impossible with the frame lag on the PS3. But the other one is quite possible because all you have to do is mash a button really hard. But you'll see demonstrations of both of those later. I have to get lucky eventually. If you jump and you have been dashing and you land somewhere else, you keep your momentum. It's nice. So here's a mashing button screen. Sometimes the loading screens don't last long enough to be able to get a Demon Fang, but we'll get one eventually. So we just sort of slash the fruit, down it goes. And this is the other loading screen. You have to hit the button at the same time as the paw prints to make them large. And it's really hard with the frame lag on the PS3. As soon as a total womanizer. Anyway, so next episode we're going to be exploring the village. See you then.